Shalom. Coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Racha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the hopeful elect pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This lesson is going into, very shortly and quickly, but importantly, talk about the power of prayer, and what it can do, for you, on so many levels spiritually, which manifests physically, right? So, we start off Ecclesiasticus 29 and 11. Lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee more profit than gold. Right? Shut up alms in thy storehouses. So first it said, lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High. So according to the commandments of the Most High, you follow the law, right? You follow the law, you don't break the law, right? To the best of your ability, of course. And part of the law is praying, right? Obviously doing the right thing, charity. It all adds to a type of spiritual currency, right? And prayer is part of it too. Shut up alms. So let's go into the word alms real quick. Oh, there we go. Charitable relief of the poor, especially as a religious duty. So, giving up, because that could be poor just means like it could be actual someone poor in the sense of money, who's just poor, and poor means lower, right? If you actually, let's go into the word poor. Let's just go with that. I don't want to. Lacking money or resources, destitute of wealth, needy, indigent, also small, scanty, also voluntary and deliberately, devoid of possessions and conformity, poor, wretched, disposed, inadequate, weak, thin. So it doesn't necessarily mean money, right? It can mean lacking money or resources, or someone's in a poor state. Maybe they're lacking the resource of food, or even knowledge, wisdom, or understanding, helping someone out, a brother out, helping him out in a situation, give him the good advice. Maybe he needs a ride, things like that. So it's under all of that. So charitable relief of the poor is the best explanation, right? So shut up alms in thy storehouses. And that's why it said in verse 11, lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High. So according to the commandments of the Most High, shut up alms in the storehouses, right? Because you don't want to do it under the commandments of Esau and what he believes is right? So shut up alms in thy storehouses, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction, right? It shall fight for thee against thy enemies. Better than a mighty shield and strong spear. And I've experienced this. One example was, I might have said it in another video, but it was very, very spiritual. I was just like, wow, Barak Thiel Bashim El Shai. It's not like things that have like this haven't happened before, but it was just how clear it was that Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai helped me out. Not like it was, and it was always, like in other situations, I had to kind of like think back on the situation and like, oh wow, Barak Thiel Bashim El Shai. Or maybe it was a little bit after the situation, Barak Thiel Bashim El Shai. But this was like right in the midst of it, So I went to go get gas, and I went to go get gas. My bank card wasn't working for some strange reason. It was a new card too, so there was no reason why it shouldn't work. I've used it before recently, and for some reason I was at the gas station. It wasn't working. I needed gas. I was on my way to work, and I needed gas to get there, right? So like it was a situation where I needed to get this gas, right? And I was in the line. I was like, oh man, like I'm kind of holding up the line. I know other people have things to do. I know, I've been there where you want to just buy gas and go because you have things to do, and someone's buying all these lotto tickets, taking their merry old time. It's like, man, you can do this later. You don't need to do this right now. But So I moved out of the line, went back in the car, tried to figure out what's going on. And then some man behind me, he saw what was going on. I guess he came and bought, because I also was getting snacks, for the road. He bought the snacks, came to my car, asked me if I needed money, and just gave me $30 cash and the snacks that he bought. And he said, here you go. Buy yourself some gas. And he just left. And I was like, whoa, wow. I was like, Baruch Hashem Shai. Because he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do anything. He could have just went on his way, went to work and wherever he was going. But he decided to, help me out, right? A stranger that he didn't know out of a situation. And the reason why that happened was because the Most High sent him, put the Spirit on him to do that. Because I've been putting up alms in my storehouses, right? So it was a situation, and that would have been a situation of affliction, because I would have been late, really late, and then everyone else would have been behind because now they're waiting for me. It would have caused a whole bunch of problems, right? I would have heard it from my boss and all this other stuff, or a slave master, you should say, because that's really what it is, right? And the next verse, verse 13, it shall fight for thee against thy enemies better than a mighty shield and strong spear. So that was one example. Another example was my boss, right? My boss he's just a bad boss. For example, he doesn't know, he's starting up a business, he doesn't know how to do it properly. And he tells me to do it a certain way, and I do it the way he shows me. But then it causes mistakes to happen because, I'm still new at doing this. So he's very bad at teaching people how to do things. So I was getting frustrated. My brother was with me. I was getting frustrated. We're talking about it. It's just like, yeah, well, it's just a demon. Demons jump on people and they challenge you, right? Because everything's a test. And I was like, yeah, Khan. So, I just did what I know what I'm supposed to do for myself, regardless of what this demon's doing. Then eventually, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this guy turned around and started saying, yeah, I'm going to coach you, blah, 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 da, 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 da. I'm going to make sure you know what you're doing properly. I was like, wow, because the funny thing is that me and his brother, Amath, we were just talking about that. Maybe 30 minutes or an hour before that happened. So I was like, wow, So it's just kind of seeing those things is just wow, that spiritual bank account is real. It's not, it's you're seeing the manifestation of it. Like I said, you do something spiritually and manifest physically. So it just increased my faith. Right. So I just wanted to, share that. So let's go to Matthew 6:1. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to the Father, Yahweh, which is in secret, and thy Father, which seeth in secret, shall reward thee openly. So there you go. That was another example. You can use that for what happened to me in both times, right? So when you pray, you're supposed to do it in private, right? Maybe go into a room that's, close the door, pray, or in your car by yourself, pray, or in your head, pray, but don't never ever do it out loud, right? You shouldn't be doing it out loud, right? Unless there's a reason why you're doing it out loud. It's amongst the brothers, and it's maybe it's a ceremony or something like that. That's a different story. But when you're praying in secret, a prayer to you and the Most High, you do it in private, right? Like it said, he will. I'll read it again. And when thou prayest, thou shalt not. Oh, slack. Actually, we can read. I was supposed to read from 1. Slack it. So we're supposed to read from 1. Take heed that ye do not your alms before men, to be seen of them. Otherwise, ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. So that's doing charitable things in front of men. It's oh, I see this brother is looking at me. Okay, I'm going to go give this poor man some money. So the brother sees. Oh, yeah, okay. Now he knows I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, that's not why you're supposed to be doing alms. That's not the way to do alms, right? Oh, I want to give this brother a ride because I want him to know that I'm a good brother. No, I mean, yeah, of course you want your brother to know you're a good brother, but that's not the way you're supposed to do that. You're just supposed to do it because you want to do it, not because your intent is to try and manipulate someone to change their perception of you, right? because your intentions are wicked. That is wicked, right? Just to be who you're supposed to be, right? Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets. So you can see like the people in Islam, they do the morning prayer, they have the bell, it rings, and then they pray. Anytime they have to do it, they do it right in the open. They will do it in the middle of the street. It doesn't matter where they do it. They don't do it in secret. They'll do it wherever they have to do it, right? They'll ring a bell, whatever, right? And then you have, the so-called Jews. They do their prayers, so like in other nations, but you're not supposed to do that. Like you said, what I read before earlier, we'll get back to it. You're supposed to do it in private. It says, verily I say unto you, they have the reward. But when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth. So basically, no one should know when you're doing an alm, right? Like, if you're giving someone a ride, they shouldn't know, oh yeah, I'm doing you a favor, man. I'm doing you an alm right now. It's like, no, that's not how it works. You're not supposed to do that. Like I said, you're supposed to do it because it's what you want to do, right? It's the right thing to do. It should feel like the right thing to do, right? That's what it means by don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. So you're not supposed to tell people when you're doing it. Just do it. That thine alms may be in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. What I just basically said. For they say unto you, they have their reward. But thou, when thou prayest, enter in thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to the Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly, right? So it will manifest physically. You do it spiritually, it will manifest physically. The last one, we're actually supposed to read the 4 in that, but, just kept on going. Just made sense. Philippians 4:6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known unto Yahweh, right? So when you have a request, right, you have to pray. That's the only way something's going to happen. Now, the Most High does know your mind, but you need to pray to him, right? And when you pray to him, it goes to Yahweh Shai, right? Because he's the mediator. So he takes it, okay, I got this prayer, take it to the Father and see what he says. He's going to fight for your behalf. Depending on how well you've been doing in the truth, he might have more of what's the word I'm looking for? A heavier case to bring to the Most High, or a lighter case, right? If you haven't been doing alms, right? You haven't been doing alms. You haven't been doing what you're following the commandments to the best of the ability. Then most likely the Most High is going to deny your request. He's like, well, you haven't been doing enough, so you don't deserve to get this, right? You haven't been suffering enough. You haven't, when I put you in certain situations to suffer, you always try to find a way out of it. You're not following the law, statute, commandments to the best of your ability. I give you things. I haven't really given you things, and you're already, what's the word I'm looking for? Mishandling them. That's not the right word, but that's an example of the synonym of the word, right? So if you're doing things like that and you ask the Most High for something, he's going to deny your request. Why would he give it to you if you're already not doing the other things he's already telling you to do? Right? You have to. It's a relationship. You have to give to get. Right? But if you are doing the things, then most likely the Most High will help you. That doesn't mean he's going to give you everything you ask for, but he'll help you with some things, right? Because we are in hell, so we are supposed to suffer. So that's it on that. Just understand when you pray and you do have a request, you have to pray to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. That's why Yahweh Shai is there. He's a mediator. So without Yahweh Shai, you cannot get to the Father. Therefore, if you can't get to the Father, none of your requests will be heard. Right? Because just because you pray, you think Most High is not listening to you. He deals with his son first. Right? So you need to, and you have to have a good relationship with Yahweh Shai. Because if Yahweh Shai brought you into the truth, which he did for every brother, whether they're part of the elect or not, we don't know. But whoever's in the truth, Yahushua brought you in, and you're not dealing with Yahushua, you're not praising him, you're not doing the things he told you to do, you're not trying to follow in his footsteps, you're not doing those things, then he's not going to take your prayers to his father. He's like, I'm not even doing this. What? I'm not wasting my time. I'm not going to bring this nonsense to my dad, my father, Yahweh. I'm not going to do this. This is disrespectful, right? Because you're making him look bad. He's taking your stuff on his behalf, right? So he's vouching for you. Yahweh is vouching for you to the Father Yahweh, right? And you are not doing the things he's telling you to do, and you expect him to take your prayers to him, to the Father. Yahweh is not going to do that, okay? Anyways, the point has been made, right? You can see how powerful prayer is. Alms, you need Yahweh Shai to even do that. So I hope this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I'd like to close out by saying Kahala Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruchach Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the hopeful elect pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Death and destruction to his wicked kingdom, and 2/3 as well. Kwam Yasharala, Abad Babal, Shalom.